So driver comparison video for you today. So we've got the full carbon of this TaylorMade Stealth 2 up against the full titanium of the Titleist TSR2. So both drivers are offering forgiveness and high ball speeds. We're going to test that in this particular video, show the difference between the looks and also the feels between these two clubs. Oh, that's a cracker. Oh, it's a joy to hit that. Okay, so two real big brands for the 2023 lineup in that driver category. So as we know, Stealth 2, big launch from them as always. Red face carbon, big talking point yet again. And Titleist launched actually the end of 2020 or the back end of 2022, didn't they? Still keeping with their titanium. They've not introduced carbon into their drivers as yet. So quite a different material type as you can expect here, but we're going to look at some differences in the performances. So we're going to start off with the Stealth 2. So the standard Stealth 2 has that 25 gram weight at the back, a little bit of a weight slightly into that heel towards the face. So we're seeing loads of carbon in this. Majority of this club head is actually carbon. So we've got a big carbon sole, big carbon crown on there, and obviously the famous red carbon 60 times carbon face. So let's get underway with the Stealth 2. Good solid strike to start things off, just venturing up that left side fractionally there, but not by much at all. So decent club head speed, good ball speed there, nice launch actually, and decent spin. So nice solid sort of numbers, and the sound in the Stealth 2 is really good. I think they've actually nailed it with the sound. I think it's a very good solid sort of sound out without it being too sort of loud, high pitched. Obviously the carbon will make a big effect on that sort of slightly duller sound, but at the same time it doesn't feel dead. Sometimes when you get the carbon effect, sometimes it gives it a very sort of dead impression. Just before we carry on with the video, if you're watching and you haven't subscribed, I'd really appreciate it if you could just hit that subscribe button, ring the bell so you get notifications. Any future videos that land on the channel, you'll be one of the very first ones to watch it. Appreciate your support as always. Let's get back to the video. Does look good behind the ball. I mean, it's obviously a glossy finish now. We've got that little red line around the back. We don't see that in the plus version, but obviously we do see the red face in both, which does stand out. Nice shot. Quite a high flight, that. Much higher than maybe what I'm used to sort of seeing. Obviously we've got that big lump of weight at the back here, so that's it is designed a little bit to get that slightly higher launch in comparison to say like the plus version. But good bit of carry on that. Flying a little bit higher but not spinning too much, which is good. It's a good solid hit. That sounds superb. I've got to give it to TaylorMade there. The sound of that is really, really good. It's a very solid feel to that as well. So get a decent shot, just put it a little bit up that left-hand side. I think the big thing we've seen with the Stealth 2, probably over the comparison of the original Stealth, is the forgiveness levels of this drive. We see a lot of commercials that TaylorMade have actually put out there, haven't they? I think, you know, with Scotty Scheffler and Rory sort of mishitting it on purpose and seeing what sort of distance they get. It's quite interesting really, but you know, I think we have actually sort of found that maybe through our fittings here at Penrith, you know, with sort of club golfers, amateur golfers, we're definitely seeing some better forgiveness offerings with this driver. Oh, that's a cracker. Bulleted that one. Super flight, good strike. Touch toe actually, but that really felt very solid. That maybe a good example of the forgiveness levels of this now, because that felt really good. Good spin numbers, yeah, some decent numbers there from that slight miss hit. So obviously quite a lot of tech as you expect from TaylorMade here. We've got a speed pocket on the bottom, obviously got the inertia generator which is helping, maybe a little bit of aerodynamics, club head speed, weight at the back helping that CG placement. We've got the neck sleeve there so we can dial off up and down by up to 2 degrees, as well as face angle and also lie angle. So you can really sort of dial this in, even though we haven't got as much in terms of adjustability of weight like maybe we see in the plus version. Okay, so there's a batch of shots hit with the Stealth 2. Great sound to it. I don't mind the look of that. I think it sits, I like the shape of it. Obviously the red face, you might like it, you might not like it. Some people might be a little bit more put off with that. I don't mind it, to be honest. I think it's a nice shape. It looks pretty decent. It sounds incredible. So let's switch over into the TSR2. TSR2, so obviously a very, very different look. Fully blacked out now, black face, black bottom, black top. Very sort of stealth-like down by that golf ball, and a sort of decent appearance in terms of a head size down there. A little bit longer from that front to the back, but a really good shape on that. And I think we saw this from the previous TS2 or TSI2, I think it was, wasn't it? TSI2 last version. much better shape in there, and it does sit, it sits incredibly square, beautiful shape on it. As I say, a little bit of a larger footprint there, as you're going to expect in this type of driver. Again, it's trying to pull that weight back center, same as what we see in the TaylorMade there. Again, pulling that CG right back in that club. So it's offering that ultimate forgiveness in a way in this driver, but obviously trying to help with that ball speed, a lot of tech in the face as well. Let's get this first one underway. Oh, that's a good strike. That's a nice flight. And a little bit of a different sound to that. It's a good sound again. I'm a really big fan of the way these Titleist drivers sound. Very, very solid feel, very, very solid sound to it. Again, that was a little bit of a toey one, but it's done very well there, hasn't it? You know, 12 launch, 2-1 spin, and a decent carry. Look at that smash, 148. This is the big thing I found with the Titleist drivers, a smash, even on the slight mishits, is really holding its own there, very efficient. I think it's an interesting one as well, isn't it, how Titleist haven't gone down that carbon route. They've stuck with this titanium and obviously performing very, very well. Be interested to see going forward, do they start to introduce carbon or not? A little bit more of a traditional sort of brand, aren't they, Titleist? You know, they're very renowned for the shape of the drivers, the look of the drivers being very sort of clean, a little bit more of a classic sort of look to the driver, but there is definitely plenty of tech underneath that bonnet. That's a good strike. It's just peeling a little bit. Very windy day out here today at Penrith, so you'll see on Trackman there the initial flight moves quite a bit left to right, and then it'll just straighten up a tiny bit there because I've got it normalised, so it'll take that wind out of the equation. Again, some good numbers, great ball speed there. So when we look at the driver, especially in the sole of the golf club, it looks pretty basic, it looks pretty sort of quiet. In terms of technology, it's nothing really sort of jumping out. Obviously we can see that weight at the back of the club doing a job for us, but the face is a little bit different. So the TSR2 face is different to the 3 and also the 4 in terms of being more sort of faster on those miss hits that typically a golfer would go into that TSR2 if they're spreading that strike pattern a little bit more around the club face. Maybe the slightly better player or the player who has a little bit more of a consistent strike pattern might venture more TSR3 or even that TSR4. Oh, it's a solid hit. Again, it's a very solid feel to that. It's a great sound. It's a little bit of a different sound to the carbon that we see with the TaylorMade, but still a really good sound. Probably just a little bit, oh, that's hard to say. So maybe a little bit louder, but not obviously tinny by any means. A very good solid crack. I think maybe just have a little look at the end is that smash as well, because as I say, I've definitely seen some patterns with this through all different levels of golfers, how that smash just stays very high, even those miss hits. See, that's off the toe. That isn't pure. The flight is fantastic there. I know I've missed hit that. Look at that ball speed, 165 on a real toey strike. We know we always get a little bit more out of that toe, but again, smash 148, good example there. So again, loads of adjustability, sure fit, neck sleeve we see with Titleist, loads of options. We've got the letters, we've got the numbers, we can change loft up and down, we can change lie angle as well, so you can really sort of dial this face and the loft into to suit your sort of delivery. But it's a really interesting one, isn't it? You know, is carbon that much better than titanium? You know, a lot of brands are going into that carbon route, saving weight, redistributing that, saying that makes it more forgiving, more stable. But I'll tell you what, that is as good a performer as anything out there, and there's not a hint of carbon in this. Oh. It's a joy to hit that. Again, that is so straight as well. Take that all day long. Fantastic ball speed there, 167, 149 smash again. Spins under control. That is a winner in this particular test by a long way. Let's just go and check those numbers out though. Interesting one. So look at dispersion. You can see the orange there of the Titleist. It's a little bit tighter left to right and also a little bit longer. This is the carry number, so if I just pop it into total there, you can see with a little bit of that run out as well, we can see a little bit of an edge with the Titleist. And then looking at the numbers, interesting, you know, a little bit more club head speed with the Stealth there, both same length of shaft, both same weight and everything like that, but you can see just a little bit more club head speed with the Stealth coming out there, so 114 against 112.6, but we've got more ball speed with the Titleist at 167 against 165. Yeah, so if you look at the heat patch and the 5 shots I hit with TaylorMade, you can see they're a little bit sort of out in that toe, but not bad at all. Look at the Titleist, just a little bit more out and into that toe section there. So quite similar actually on those strikes, but clearly getting a little bit more ball speed. Launch touch higher, spin really controlled there with the Titleist. Every single one pitching into the 280s there, which is good for me, running out to that 310. But again, we look at that smash, 149, 48, 49, 49, 48, really good. And as I mentioned before, we see that so often through our fittings. Are you going Titleist? Are you going TaylorMade? Let me know down below. Appreciate you watching the video as always, and hopefully we'll catch up with you all very soon.